Hanson's hit music. This is 88.1 The Park.
Greetings and welcome back. It is The Scene on 88.1 The Park. It's a Thursday night. It's August, and we are returning. And it is our 1-year anniversary show. That's right. 1 year ago tonight, The Scene hit these airwaves for the first time with the goal of bringing you the best in local music, but specifically our outstanding, talented musicians that we have here at Plymouth Canton Educational Park. And 1 year later, we are back. And 1 year later, we are back with the same exact in-studio guest that we had a year ago. And we'll get to that in a minute. It's been a great, great summer. You know, school might get out, but the School of Rock does not close. Close meaning that the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio was open for business all summer. And a very busy place. We had tons of bands and artists in. We had a few shows. It was pretty active there at the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex this summer. So what we're learning is summer is a great time In the Band because, as all of you know, you got time, and without school, there's more time to come and write songs and jam and prepare for big shows and all those things that In the Band serves. So it was a terrific summer. Many of our regular bands were in, and a lot of new artists as well. So we're looking forward to this school year to see what new bands or what new combination of musicians emerge here at the park. And we look forward to bringing you that on these very airwaves here on The Scene. So welcome to our 1-year anniversary show. Keagan Weaver, a.k.a. MEANDTHEDOG, will be joining us tonight. And he's brought along a special friend with him as well, George Rafka, who's also a member of MEANDTHEDOG. So we'll get to those guys in a minute. Some really exciting things coming up here at In the Band. A couple announcements to make. Number one, and this is the first time we're announcing this, but our Halloween party, the In the Band Halloween party and 7-inch release show is going to be on Saturday, October 28th. And as we talked about late last year, In the Band is producing a 7-inch vinyl record, Hilltop Drive on one side, Junior High Cheer Squad on the other. It's going to be a fundraising project for In the Band. We are going to release that record on October 28th and have a tremendous lineup of bands that night. And we will be releasing more details, but make sure and save that date, Saturday, October 28th, for the In the Band 7-inch release and Halloween party. Halloween means, yes, come in costume. I look forward to what people will show up in. Maybe we'll ask Keagan and George what they might be wearing as well. So what we'll do to kick off our first segment of the school year here on The Scene is we're going to play both songs that will appear on that 7-inch record. We hope that all of you check it out. We hope that all of you buy it. It's a great way to support In the Band and a great way to support these two great bands that appear. We will hear from Junior High Cheer Squad featuring these two gentlemen sitting next to me with Change. But first, it's Hilltop Drive with Horizontal. That's right, one of our favorite songs here on The Scene. Those are the two songs that will be part of this 7-inch album. So let's get it going with some rock and roll from Chance, Chris, and Sam. Here's Horizontal on The Scene on 88.1 The Park.
I'm faded, dismayed. saying goodbye to me. I won't make you address any of your feelings. I know that I told you all those things that were true. Just know we were never really anything. I'm more resigned when it's all 'cause of you. She said I won't let this break unless we've tried everything. I had nothing left to say. She said I can't sit and wait while you contemplate. There was nothing left to say.
Hi, I'm Clint Smiley, the principal at West Middle School, and you're listening to The Scene on 88.1 The Park, Plymouth and Canton's hit music.
Well, I'm stuck in the past, trying to make things that are gone now last. Well, the weather's the same, and the feelings have changed, and I'm taking the blame. Taking the blame. Waking up just to see your face. Now I'm walking this path at a different pace. Thanks to you, it's your loss.
If this broken heart has taught me anything, it's that change is good.
If this broken heart has taught me anything, it's that the change is good. Oh, where are you now? You're in the same place as me. And I've changed, and change is good.
Change from Junior High Cheer Squad, 2/3 of which are sitting directly to my right. And then, of course, we had the new and improved Horizontal from Hilltop Drive. The guys went into kind of a proper studio and recut that song for its placement on the In the Band 7-inch, the first In the Band 7-inch, so the catalog number ITB-1. And that will be released on October 28th at the 7-inch release party and In the Band Halloween party. A couple of gentlemen that will be there because they will be playing in Junior High Cheer Squad are joining me right now. Keagan Weaver and George Rafka
What's
of
up?
Me and the Dog. How you guys doing?
Doing
We're
well.
good.
So Keagan, a year ago, we sat here together for the first show, and it was very successful, which is why we're still here. And we talked about Me and the Dog sort of being like your solo project and this songwriting outlet. And you played a couple songs, here in the studio. How has Me and the Dog developed in the last year?
Well, we've developed a bass player, a drummer, and another guitar player. So there's a lot of change going on. But as you guys just heard, change is good. So I'm excited about it.
Kind of taking your own advice there. Change is good.
I am.
So Me and the Dog now is sort of transitioning from a solo project to a band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And tell me, who are the other gentlemen that you'll be playing with in this band?
So everybody else that's in Junior High Cheer Squad is also in Me and the Dog, but we've kind of switched around. Instead of on drums, I'm up front and I'm singing and I'm playing guitar. Weston is staying on guitar, and George is actually transitioning to bass. And my good friend Nick Brandon, who is currently running this interview, is sitting on drums for me right now.
I've heard of him. He's a good drummer, I think.
He kind of sucks. But
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's cool. So I know you're gonna hit the studio. You've actually spent some time in the studio. You got some songs done. So we're gonna look forward to Me and the Dog now becoming a band.
yeah.
And seeing where it goes, right?
Yeah, we got 6 songs done, and they're all recorded full band, and so that seems to be the way that Me and the Dog is heading.
And George, how is it now? You transition from Cheer Squad, where you're playing guitar and doing a lot of singing, to now you're a bass player in Me and the Dog. Tell me about the experience for you.
It's a good time. I just like hanging out with my friends, making music. That's pretty much what it is in Cheer Squad and in Me and the Dog. We're all best pals doing what we like to do,
So we've talked now about band, and we're going to contradict ourselves mightily, because now we're going to turn to a performance where you're going to perform solo.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to sort of how Me and the Dog was before. You're going to play one of your newer songs. In fact, I think it's your newest song that you've actually put together.
Yep.
I didn't quite get that. This is a song that we've all become very familiar with, but it's nice that you're going to bring it to the airwaves, because I personally think it's the best thing you've ever written.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
why don't we turn to that right now? So this is Me and the Dog, the solo version of Me and the Dog. So here's Keagan Weaver with I Didn't Quite Get That here on the scene on 88.1 The Park.
My hair is much longer than before. And I swear that I've changed too, but not for you. No, not for you. And I swear to the insecurities that hold me back. Hold me back. You held me back. And hold me back. I gotta grow up, embrace myself, grow up, embrace the hell that I've been given, to love myself the way I want to. Grow up, embrace myself, grow up, embrace the hell that I've been given, to love myself the way I want to.
And I was not kidding. I said that's one of the best songs he's ever written, and you could see why. I didn't quite get that from Keagan Weaver, a.k.a. Me and the Dog, here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Well done, my friend.
Thank
For-
you.
Continuing proof, and I say this every show, that a good song is good no matter what format, whether it's with a full band or solo acoustic. But just wait till people hear that song, with the full band lineup, and then especially live. I think if people come to your shows and hear that song live, they're going to hear a pretty powerful experience.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited just because I've got to hear what it sounds like on the recording and what it's going to sound like live. And so I'm super excited. It's the first song I ever wrote with a full band in mind. And so I think that's why it differs so much from the other stuff I've written.
Has your mindset changed when it comes to writing now that you're writing, for a full band? And if so, how has it changed?
Yeah, it's for sure changed, and I want to say the biggest way it's changed is rhythmically, because now I'm thinking about, especially just because I'm a drummer now as well, I'm thinking about what the drums are going to be doing, and thinking about cool stops and pauses to add, just different elements to the song, and so I'm doing a lot more rhythmically, and it's just also thinking about how I need to start playing less. Because when it's just me, I have to fill all the space. But when I have a full band, there's another guitar player and a bass player. And so I can write a bass part where just bass plays or where just electric is playing. So I'm keeping in my mind, like, hey, you might have to play less now. So I think those are the two big ways that my writing style has changed since I've made the transition to full band.
Yeah, and that's great because it's only going to help you grow as a songwriter, but also just learn new ideas and figure out that sometimes less is more, from you, and you can rely on your bandmates to fill in some spaces. So how is it having a roadie, by the way, as George tunes your guitar?
It's really nice.
It sucks.
He's my guitar tech.
You're good. Yes, your acoustic guitar tech. Yeah.
I did a whole setup just then. Right now.
Yeah. Well done. So we're gonna go to another performance now. So that was one of the newer songs. Now we'll go to one that the scene is celebrating its 1-year birthday today.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this song is as well.
Yeah, I dropped this song. Actually, the story was Nick had asked me to be on this radio show, and like the day after he asked me, I wrote a song, and I was like, all right, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna record the song in like the next 3 days, and we're gonna drop it at the show. And so that's what I did, and it's actually ended up becoming one of my bigger songs.
Yeah,
a lot of people like this one. This is the one song right now that you can find on Spotify and iTunes. So if you go to iTunes or Spotify and you type in Me and the Dog, you'll see Sore Throat. And yeah, it's my song. You can jam onto it if you like it.
It is a favorite for sure. So here's Sore Throat, also celebrating its 1-year birthday, just like the scene here on 881 The Park. So here's Me and the Dog with Sore Throat. Take it away.
Choking back tears is getting pretty old. It hurts my heart, and it hurts my throat. So the next time someone asks me if I'm okay, I'll tell them no because my throat hurts since you went away. Been telling myself 4 years isn't too long. But right now I feel I couldn't be more wrong. Oh. 'Cause right now I can barely handle one day. Now there's only 9 more left till you go away. You go away. So the next time someone asks me if I'm okay, I'll tell them no because my throat hurts since you went away. Since you went away. Since you went away. You went away. And I promise you my throat will heal and that I will begin to feel the strength I need. And I promise you the days of life, the less and less and less will cry is what we need. We've got what we need to do what we need.
Sore Throat from Me and the Dog here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. It's kind of cool to hear you play a song a year after it was written and just hear something different, which I did. There's some strength into that song when you play it live by yourself. Do you think you'll continue with doing solo shows here and there as part of Me and the Dog?
Oh, of course. I'll definitely still do the like coffee shop shows, especially like the Plymouth Coffee Bean. Like that's hometown for me. Like that's my home court. So I will definitely still play the solo shows.
Good.
Yeah.
And of course, Sweetwater's every other Thursday night, right?
Sweetwater's every other Thursday night, open mic, make it out. Let's
Absolutely.
do it. Pack
Everyone
that place.
should come, right, George? Everyone should come to
Everybody
Sweetwater's.
should come.
That's right. So we're going to shift to the influences segment. We were going to plan on 2 songs. We were initially going to do 2 songs. We're going to do 1. But let's at least talk about the first one we're going to play, which is Amateurize. And I've never heard of this band. I know that we had talked kind of in our pre-show work that now that you're, fronting Me and the Dog as a band, I wonder if your influences have changed in terms of the music you're listening to guide that. So tell me a little bit about that and Amateurize in particular.
So Amateurize is a guy that I didn't really listen to him, but George did. And so when George would play him, I'd be like, I'm not really into this. And I went to a festival in Howell that he was playing, and he played like 30 seconds of the first song, and I left. I was like, yeah, still not into this. But then when I got back home for some reason, I was like, all right, maybe I'll just check it out. And I started checking out the album, and like front to back, that album is just killer songs after killer songs after killer songs. It's so good. And so I got really into that, and that was right around the time where I decided I want to go full band. I wanted to start like playing with a drummer and stuff like that. And especially because as I started going to more shows and stuff, I think my biggest influence was not necessarily listening to people, but seeing people play. I saw that it's so much easier, and it's just better to get the crowd like hyped up and like moving with a full band. I can't stand up there with just my acoustic guitar and move around and dance around and jump and all that stuff, because I mean it would just look a little weird, like if it was just one guy with his acoustic guitar trying to like rock out. But with a bass player and an electric guitar player and a drummer, it opens the stage up, and it allows for better music, and it allows for a better performance, in my opinion.
Yeah, no question. You know, I think the show aspect is completely different. So, and that shifts to a band that I've heard you talk so much about, and this is who we're going to hear from here in the Influences segment. Speak Low If You Speak Love. I know this band has like tremendous connection with you. You reference them a lot, and you chose 8 Weeks. What went into this choice?
So I can proudly sing every single song on that album, word for word, no mistakes, and George can testify to that.
Yes, of course he can.
That has been my album of the year for the last like 3 years. And as I was just going through the album, because I could really just pick the whole album as an influence, but as I was going through, this kind of had that almost pop, but not quite there, like the alternative pop kind of feel that I really liked, and that I really wanted to see in my band. And so I was just going, I basically just had to pick one, and it was really hard to pick one, and so I ended up picking 8 Weeks. And also, 8 Weeks is the first song that I ever saw Ryan, who is Speak Low If You Speak Love. It's the first one I ever saw him perform, and I got to see it. It was my first open mic that I had ever performed at, and I was, I don't know, I was probably 12. I was like 11 or 12, and Ryan played this song. And so I've known this song for a long time, and I kind of got to watch this song go from a solo project to full band, I want to. So,
well, that's cool. That makes it a great choice. It's funny. This band, clearly means a lot to you, and I'd never heard of them, until basically you told me about them. But I totally see what you're saying. And so this is they're all local. It's a local project.
Yeah. So the lead singer, who is Ryan Graham, he grew up in Westland, and he knew people that went to the park like his whole life. We went to church together. That's how I knew him. I remember I was like in probably like third, fourth, or fifth grade, and I would just like walk up to the high school group because I wanted to be by Ryan, because I wanted to be cool like him. So I've just known him for a long time. He grew up in Westland, and then actually the guy that recorded my new EP plays in Ryan's band. He plays guitar for him, and then I've known the bass player because when I was in 7th grade, I was in a music video for Ryan and the bass player and Ryan's guitarist band at the time. It was their band called Good Luck Varsity. And so I've just known all these guys since I was little, and they were in high school when I was in like 3rd and 4th grade, and it always meant like a ton to me when they would talk to me and they'd help me with my music and stuff. So that's just kind of like how I have the connection with them, and then it doesn't hurt that they put out really good music.
Well, keep that in mind, Keagan Weaver, when you get your little 3rd and 4th grade fans that come around, and you're going to become somebody's hero here in the near future, and keep that in mind, because you remember what it meant to you as a musician, right?
I remember being like really little, and I was probably, like I said, like 3rd grade, and I was the only kid wearing cutoff jean shorts because that's what all the high schoolers did.
Nice. Well, good stuff. So 8 Weeks is the song, and the band is Speak Low If You Speak Love. It's the Influences segment for Keagan Weaver here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park. Speak Low If You Speak Love with 8 Weeks. I love that band name, but it's not easy to say.
No, I remember it was a while ago. It was probably like 2 years ago. He tweeted My biggest regret is not choosing a smaller name for my solo project.
Do people call them like Speak Low?
I call
for
them Speak
short?
Low.
Okay, yeah, I figured. But 8 weeks, good stuff there on the Influences segment on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. We now shift into the Scene Rewind. We bring in Bill Keith, station manager for 88.1 The Park. Bill, how's it going?
Very good.
Hope you had a nice summer. It's good to be back with you here on the Scene. Bill and I checked out a couple good shows this summer, and it's good to have him back. So, Bill, we've chosen the Sights for today's The Scene Rewind. Tell me your recollections of that group.
Well, they came along. The one guy that was in the group that was connected to PCP was Dave Shetler, and I think he played drums in the Sights. And we featured some of his music a while back from when he was in this group, Moods for Moderns. And he was in the Sights for a couple of their albums, and then, of course, was gone. Probably rock star stories that have never been revealed. But I haven't heard the albums that he was on. I came on or became a fan of theirs with, I think it was a self-titled album that we're going to hear here. And by that point, he had left the band by the time they released the album. But you said that you saw them perform some of the music from this album in concert.
Yeah.
When he was in the band.
When he was in the band, it was at South by Southwest. So some of this material was definitely part of that. And plus, this is the only album that the band did on a major label. And so the work that Dave Shetler was on before this album was part of that kind of garage rock explosion. It just fit in so nicely with what was going on in Detroit at the time, because this is the emergence of the White Stripes and the Dirt Bombs and the Von Bondis.
Detroit Cobras.
Yeah, Detroit Cobras. And so, here's a little history lesson for Keagan and George. What happened in the early 2000s was like boy bands were taking over. This was the days of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and all that.
98 degrees.
90 degrees, there you go. And so what happened was this garage rock scene came along, Bill, and it aimed to sort of wipe all of that out by just getting back to the rawest of roots of rock and roll. And by the White Stripes standards, you didn't even need a bass player.
Even blues, too, with the White
Yes.
Stripes.
For sure. And so the Sights, this band we're going to hear on the Scene Rewind, kind of caught that wave and got some good notoriety because of that movement. There were so many bands. Remember, Bill, it seemed like there was a new garage rock band, every week. But it was a cool movement because it was generated out of this need to get back to just instruments and raw,
gritty rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah. What was did you have a favorite band from that scene, or was there a band that stands out from those garage rock days that resonated?
I
with
didn't
Bill
listen
Keith?
to a whole lot of that stuff. I mean, I bought the album by the Sights, and of course, the White Stripes were great.
I think the White Stripes were
White
pretty
Stripes
special.
were probably the preeminent band,
I agree with that.
and pretty amazing for just two people.
Yeah. Well, Jack White, he's gone on to do a few things,
He's no slouch.
So let's check in with the Sights. This is Circus. So this is off the major label self-titled album, the band that at one time featured PCEP alum Dave Shetler. The Sights on the Scene Rewind on 88.1 The Park. The Sights with Circus on the Scene Rewind. Man, Bill Keith, that is a jam.
That's a great song.
It's really good.
That was the first song I heard from them because that was the first album I bought by them. And when I heard it, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah. That kind of makes me want another garage rock revival. What do you think, Keagan and George? Do you think we're ready for a little rock and roll revival here?
I think it's
We need to
happening.
make emo, or we need to make America emo again.
America's too emo. But
Emo
I think,
for life.
I think that garage rock scene is like coming back. There's like a lot of local stuff and like big festival names like Waves, Ariel Pink, Fiddler. There's a big garage rock thing happening right now.
Well, it's a good thing. Let's get back to just rock and roll energy, right? So Keagan Weaver, what's the future now for Me and the Dog? What's the immediate future? I know you've got the EP that's sort of in the final stages, and you got some shows that might be on the horizon. But what's your hopes and dreams for this at this point? What do you want to when we sit down? Because a year from now, we're going to have the 2-year anniversary of the scene, and you're coming back. I mean, this is going to be our tradition. So, what will you be telling me in a year about the year that Me and the Dog had?
2018 is going to be big. I'm really excited. I think 2018 is going to be spent really focusing on building the fan base. just getting the music out to people's ears. Because right now I'm happy with where the music is at. I'm happy with where I'm at and what I'm writing. But now it's time to get people to listen to it. And so I think 2018 is going to be a lot of just playing some really nice shows, playing good shows, releasing more music, just pumping out content like crazy. Really want to get the name and the music out there. So yeah, I think 2018 is just going to be full of music for us.
And putting up with George and Wes and your drummer who sucks.
And that it's going to be a lot of
You
of
have to
dealing
deal with
people.
us in 2 separate bands.
Yeah, I'm the
That must be
MVP.
That's right.
Actually, we have to deal with you. That's how it should go.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, and it'll be good to see Me and the Dog develop. It's nice that you've got all these different musical outlets and these different ways to express yourself, because that's what it's all about. So we look forward to it. We're going to hear from a couple artists now who we haven't heard from for a while in the scene. In fact, one artist, the last time we heard from them, they were here, and that's Nat and Cam. And they finally made a recording. I think we're all huge Nat and Cam fans.
Very
right,
big
Keagan?
Nat and Cam fan.
And so when they showed up during the summer and dropped off a copy of their EP to 881 The Park, that was a good day, because now we get to check out some of their stuff in studio. So we got Nat and Cam on their way, and after that we're going to hear from Paper Crowns, Abby Sexton and company. Abby, a recent graduate, but I know she's going to keep playing and is still going to be somewhat around the scene here. So let's check in with Nat and Cam. So this is The Scene debut. This is Amends, the studio version from Nat and Cam on 881 The Park.
Places to go and people to see, and you need to do some errands for me. I'll give a few dollars, it won't be much, but you need to make sure to keep in touch. It's not your fault, you'll be better someday, but for now I'm not sure if you'll make it halfway. So I'll go to the marketplace and ask around if they see your face, and they'll say no, so I'll come back here and scold you from your head to toe. You'll cry a bit and then break down, but we'll hug it out, cause you're not forgotten. Let's go out and see our friends, cause you gotta make amends. Da 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 da. Ooh, we're on the beach, laying in the sun. The smell of sunscreen's in the air. We're playing frisbee in the water, having fun. Our time is almost over. I'm surprised we made it out sober, but I'm feeling lost cause I haven't seen you in a couple of days or two. I'm feeling weak, I can feel my knees. Somebody out there come find me, please. So you'll go to the marketplace and ask around if you see my face, and you'll say no, so you'll come back here and scold me from my head to toe. I'll cry a bit and then break down, but we'll hug it out, cause you're not forgotten. Let's go out and see our friends, cause I gotta make amends. Da 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 da. Ooh, da da. And I know that this song sounds nice, and I'm telling you I don't know how to do it right. And I'm sorry, I can't figure it out. Just know that I'm trying, I guess that's what life's about. So you'll go to the marketplace and ask around if you see my face, but they always say no, so cry a bit and then break down, but we'll hug it out, cause you're not forgotten. Let's go out and say our friends, cause we gotta make amends. Da 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 da.
Hi, I'm Clint Smiley, the principal at West Middle School, and you're listening to The Scene on 88.1 The Park, Plymouth and Canton's hit music.
Please don't get too close, for my mind can't seem to focus when you're around. Please don't get too lost out there in this world, searching for something you've already found. Please don't go too far. Something about you just seems to feel like home. Please look to the stars if you ever need to feel a little less alone. Another place, another time, another world where maybe I could call you mine. Why must you go? Is it something I said, something that I wrote? Why must you always say the right things at the worst time? Why do you think it's okay to ask me if you think I should go or if you should stay? We both know the answer, baby. You know I never wish you away. Another place, another time, another world where maybe I could call you mine. Another place, another time, another world where maybe I could call you mine.
Another World from Paper Crowns, Abby Sexton and Joe Jankowski and Reese Gabriel and company checking in. That is off their most recent album, which came out and sounds great. Paper Crowns played a really great show in the Plymouth Kellogg Park this past summer, opening up for a Friday night music in the park. Hoping to get Keagan Weaver in on one of those.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I think next year. I think we'll
Let's
try our
do it.
best to do that. Yeah, I think you're ready. I think you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to take your band with you,
Heck yeah.
including your drummer who sucks.
Including my drummer who sucks.
Does he really suck?
No, he's great.
Okay. So hopefully we'll hear more and more from me and the dog. It's been so good having you here for the 1 year anniversary show. And what we're going to do is create a tradition.
Let's do it.
Every August now, you're coming back.
I'm in.
Have one more member of the band come with. I was
Hey,
the
there you
first
go.
year.
There you go. Exactly. So next year we'll have Wes come back.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate you guys coming. We appreciate all the insight and the terrific performances. So thank you, Keagan Weaver. You've always been a good friend of In the Band and a good friend of the scene here on 81 The Park. So reminders, October 28th, In the Band, Halloween party and 7-inch release show. Everyone should plan on being there.
Should be sweet.
We have the 7-inch record coming out August 28th. featuring Hilltop Drive with Horizontal and Junior High Cheer Squad with Change. We cannot wait. That's probably the most exciting thing we've done in the band yet.
Wait, it's October 28th, correct?
October 28th,
Okay.
yeah. It's probably one of the coolest things that In the Band has done yet, but it's not the end of the cool things to come. Join us next month. We'll be here the last Thursday of September when Kevin Allen joins us in studio, a member of a local songwriters club, frequent user of In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, and one of the best songwriters in the area. Got a great voice. Look forward to having Kevin join us that evening. So make sure that you stay tuned to In the Band on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all of our outlets to find out when the next show is. We're going to leave you today with our good friends Michigan Left, a band that was very active this summer and a band that will also be playing at the October 28th In the Band Halloween party. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to George Rafka, Keagan Weaver. Thanks to Bill Keith for making it happen behind the scenes. Here is Creature of Habit on the scene on 88.1 The Park. We'll leave you with some Michigan Left.
This is WSDP Plymouth,
a community service of the Plymouth Canton Community